in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
And we have to start by building a wall, a big, beautiful, powerful wall.
Show me the money!
You are fake news. Oh, good for you. And how was it?
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
Well, that's the revolution here on Lake Effect Radio, which we have a guest in the studio from Student Service Center. How's it going today?
It's going great. Thanks for having me today.
You know, it's a cool time in that. Getting, you know, everyone to sort of, you know, say, hey, this is what we do and that. And, you know, it's a lot of, you know, small little things we do that you don't realize. Or, hey, students, it's something you're sort of missing. But, hey, we do this if you need help. It's that, you know, cool week.
Yep, that's very
Going, giving everyone that little, you know, undisclosed attention that sometimes people overlook.
okay. Well, we're happy to be here.
Cool. So you want to sort of say a little about yourself, or, you know, what Student Services does for everyone here?
Okay, I'm Anne-Marie Gruber. I'm the Associate Director for the Student Service Center here at Lakeland. We have going on 4 years of being in existence, and it's really, the Student Service Center is really a combination of admissions, registration, financial aid, and then we have a couple other functions that we do with the counseling center, and we also have a food bank that is located in our area to help students out. So we are located in Building A. Right when you walk in the front door, we have a lobby area where we have kiosks that help students through those different processes related to admissions, registration, financial aid, that type of thing. We have six enrollment support specialists that man our front counter, so students can walk up and answer or have any questions answered about any of those types of things.
Cool. So I know we sort of were talking about a little bit of like the resources and that. I know you want to hit about the food pantry 100% sure. More in depth, that, you know, figured we should sort of go a little on that.
Absolutely. The Lakeland Cares cupboard is pretty new. It's been in the last year or so, and it really was a response to the awareness of growing food insecurities that students are having on our campus. So it's a food bank that we have donations that we accept. That students can come to the Student Service Center, no questions asked, just tell us that they wanted to access the food pantry, and we'll allow them to visit that, and they can take whatever they need from that food pantry. So they really just need to come up to the Student Service Center. Again, no questions asked. So
Cool.
And we're open from 8 to 6 Monday through Thursday, and 8 to 5 on Friday. So,
Cool.
So it's great. It's combination of donations and things like that to, again, help students with food insecurities that they may have.
That's definitely a nice service to have.
Yeah. And the students it's not a one-time thing. They can come as often as they feel that they need to do that. So.
Cool. Except, is it any little difference? Sort of something that sort of popped in my head. So, you know, I'm a student, let's say fall and spring. Let's say like over the summer. I'm not really a student. Does that sort of matter in that aspect?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So you can access it at any time. We've had students that come up during breaks. So, you know, on the Christmas, between Christmas and the start of the spring semester, we have had students that came up to access it as well. So
cool.
We also have immediate needs funds that we can award to students, and that, again, is community donations that has been given to us to help students out when they have unexpected expenses. They would come to the Student Service Center, explain what their situation is, and then we can see if we can help them out by helping them, giving them some funding to help them through whatever crisis they're going through. And that is available during the semester. And would be for any unexpected expenses that they might have. So we try and see what we can do to help them. But it's been great. The community involvement has been wonderful. The donations that we receive from corporations and things like that to help and community members to help us
helping someone that's
that.
in a bind in that.
Correct.
True.
So that's.
I never knew that they actually did that. I know the Men's Center did that one. Was it Dash for Cash or something?
Oh, Dash Grant. They had Dash Grant. Correct.
That
was a couple years they did at the Men's and the Women's Center.
I never knew someone else sort of took upon that duty of sort of going and doing something like that.
It's been great. We've had the immediate needs fund for quite a while, but we've had very limited amount that we could award to students, so we had to be kind of a little bit frugal with it. And we do have limited amounts now, but again, we have more than we had before, so it's really helpful. We've helped a lot of students in the fall semester.
I feel you.
So.
I definitely feel you because life sort of happens in that, and someone falls down on its luck in that.
So.
Then could go to, because I know you were saying about counseling, and that you go up, you go to one of the specialists and that, I need to make a counseling appointment, or to we could even combine walk-ins to it too.
Sure.
And that might as well with that aspect.
Right. So if students want to meet with the counselor on a walk-in basis, they would come to the Student Service Center. We have it on Monday mornings from 8 to 11:15, and on every Tuesday from 1 until 4:15, where they come to the Student Service Center, tell us what they want to talk to the counselor about. Then when they get matched up with a counselor, they receive a pager. Then they can kind of hang out in the Student Service Center area while we're waiting for the counselor to be able to meet with them. So it's a way for them to be able to see a counselor if they have
unexpected
a question or something that we had a lot. Obviously, we were very busy right before classes started because students were coming to have counselors help them with their schedule. But it's a way that they can meet with them if they don't have an appointment. If they want to make an appointment with counseling, they can either do that through the counseling center, or we can also make actual appointments for them, or they have a scheduled time to come in and meet with a counselor. Sometimes students have to be a little patient with the walk-in because it's a walk-in on a walk-in basis, so sometimes they have to wait a little bit to be able to meet with the counselor that they want, or depending on what their major is, depends on the counselor availability as to how long they might have to wait.
True. I've done that, or did that twice.
Okay.
That over the summer once, and right before the semester and that.
Right.
It is, but here and there, it sort of happens, and that, you sort of get that that one email, and it's like, it is what it is.
Right. So it is a good way that you'd be able to meet with a counselor. I don't want to say on the spur of the moment, but at least it's a way for you to be able to meet them without having to wait for an appointment. Yeah, as long as you're willing to wait, because again, we can't guarantee how long it's going to take for you to be able to meet with a counselor. And the counseling area does add sessions at the start of the semester, and different times of the year they add additional walk-in times so that more students can be seen at the critical times of the academic year.
True. So. Yeah, it's better than having that function than not having it. Then I can't sign up for classes and have to wait till P2, and that's sort of that nice for forgiveness. Not including me on my aspect of got to do what you got to do.
Right. Exactly.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
So.
But students can also access their degree tracker through their My Lakeland. A lot of students aren't aware of that, where they can look to see, based on their program, what courses that they need. Sometimes it's very helpful, though, to still meet with a counselor, though, to reaffirm that, or maybe they have some other options for the students.
Well, even some of them sort of helping with, certain instructor of, or, this is, if you go to this class instead of this one's going to be a little more this way than, this one. It's a little, the best example would be, let me think, a science class. It's probably one science. It's more math-based than me, I could sort of do that. Me and science never sort of agreed that much. So I would go that way than the other way. Sort of putting a real example to it. I sort of, just blanked a touch on it, but yeah.
So it's always good to meet with a counselor.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure you're on track for graduation.
Here and there, they really help me in that aspect of, maybe, they're sort of laying out a class formation of this one's more ill at this than that. So I'm definitely grateful for that. True.
Good.
Then, what was it with registration and that too?
Yeah, we do. If for brand new students, we help them through the admission process, letting them know what they need to do in terms of filling out the application, getting their high school transcripts or college transcripts here if they need to have that done. So we provide them with that information. We actually will accept those over the counter as long as they're in a sealed envelope from the institution that they're coming from. We will accept some of those. It depends on where they come from. We also will sign students up for like new student orientation, or if they need to attend a health information session, if they're going into a health field. So we will help them through that process as well. So we do everything that we can do to help the students to become enrolled at Lakeland.
Pretty much give them the direction and the roadmap
Correct.
of what to do.
Exactly. And then for continuing students, we do whatever we need to do, provide them as much information as we can about their continuing process, getting them registered for classes, if they need to drop classes, add classes. If that's the case, sometimes they'll come up and we always check to see if they have financial aid, because if they have financial aid and they want to drop a class or add a class, what's that going to do to their financial aid for that semester, and then also long term, because sometimes students who continually drop classes end up having financial aid issues. So we want to make sure that they're aware when they're doing that of the long term effects of that too. So we can actually take a look at everything, because we do registration and financial aid, the impact of anything that they want to do in terms of adjusting their registration.
True.
So that's very helpful, I think, to the students, because they're not being bounced from one office to the other. Used to be, if you wanted to drop a class, you would go to registration, and then you'd have to go to financial aid to find out what happens if I drop the class, and then you'd have to go back to registration to actually drop the class. So it does help the student a lot in getting the big picture of what effects dropping and adding classes has on their financial aid.
I remember those days.
Aid. Yes. So when they would
of
go
the
back and forth.
different offices and all that. I remember it.
So now we're one area. Students can come to any of those 6 windows and have their questions answered. And then a lot of times students will come up with questions from another area on campus. So we do our best to either try and contact that other office to find out the answer to the question, or do whatever we can to help the student at the time, so they're not being bounced around too. So, sometimes students come up and they have billing questions. If it's something specific that we need to, we'll call the cashier's office, or we will call upstairs to the controller's office to find out what's going on, so we can provide them with the best information as possible.
Yeah.
And again, not bouncing them around.
I feel ya.
Some of the legwork for them.
That's the one thing I remember back in the day. Every once in a while, you always run across that one person that they felt like they were just being bounced around.
Right, exactly. So we try to minimize that as best we can.
The most part, yeah.
So.
That definitely, I could see ironing that down.
Yeah. So I think that's been very helpful for students as well.
True.
So.
True. Besides, let me see. What was the other one?
Well, we also do financial aid.
Too.
So we can help students with financial aid with the process. We can help them once they fill out their free application for federal student aid or their FAFSA. We can tell them what else they need to do, if there's anything else that they need to do, and provide them all the information that they need about their financial aid. We do take appointments, and as does the financial aid office, in helping the students complete their FAFSA. Maybe they are having problems with applying for their student loans, or whatever it is related to financial aid, we can help them through that process. So it's not even just a matter of giving them information. We can also sit down with them and help them through that whole application process, so that they can pay for their education. Because we know, even though Lakeland has a very low tuition, if the students are struggling to pay for that education, they certainly can apply for financial aid, and we encourage them to do that. We also can help students or provide them information about how to apply for scholarships here at Lakeland. We have a lot of scholarships, and we have one application process, but not every student applies. So we want everyone to be able to do that, to see that if they may qualify for some scholarships. And we have information about that, and we can help them and walk them through that process through the Student Service Center.
Yeah, that's what was going to actually add too.
Yeah.
I forgot all about the scholarships and all that.
Yeah. I mean,
Very good.
It's a very easy process. Students do it online. Then the next year they just have to renew it if they're going to be returning to Lakeland. So every year the students have to fill out the FAFSA if they want federal financial aid, and then they would do the scholarship application at here at Lakeland. And again, one application for all of our scholarships, and we keep that on file all year long, so that if something new comes up or maybe some students don't return and money becomes available, we look through those applications again to see who might best be a
the next
good recipient
person.
for those scholarships.
I gotcha.
So
Yeah, I definitely, especially like FAFSA and that, I had one mess up too down the road, and that started filling it out and didn't finish it before it timed out. What was it, 28 days or 30 days that they deactivate the account in that or something like that?
Okay.
That was like years
I
ago.
was going to say that was a while ago. Yeah, it's a
That I
lot
had to
more
go get the
user-friendly
paper
now.
thing
Yeah,
to
it
go
is a
and
lot
do
more
that.
user-friendly, yeah. So students
Yeah.
can do it online. It's really not that difficult of a process. Everyone thinks, oh, financial aid, it's so hard to apply. It's really not that difficult.
Oh, especially nowadays with the technology getting
Right.
better. Compared to me, that's, probably over 5-something years ago.
Yeah.
But that was my
Changed
own
a little
dumb
bit,
fault.
But
My own
it is
dumb
a pretty
fault for
easy
that.
process. So we encourage everyone to, who needs assistance to apply, and we'll actually help them make appointments through the student service center to either have someone on our staff or someone on the financial aid staff help them. So
True.
it's again, we encourage and are trying to make it as easy as possible for students. So again, sometimes once the student completes the FAFSA, there's additional things that they need. They get notified through their My Lakeland account what they need through their Lakeland email. Students must read their Lakeland email because that's how most offices on campus communicate with them. But we will let them know if there's anything additional that they will need to submit, and they would submit that either to the financial aid office through their email or fax, or they can drop things off at the student service center as well.
That's a true thing.
So.
Many people don't think, oh, I need to log into that.
Right. Yeah.
You
absolutely.
do.
Got to check that Lakeland email.
Or if you don't have to log into it, if you don't have Blackboard and that, at least have, an app like me. I have an app on my phone, that I have the school email, everything that funnels into it.
Okay. Which is great.
It's a smart thing to do.
Access to it. Sure.
Because I missed a professor's thing once.
Yeah.
Learned that lesson.
Right. And you don't want to miss deadlines either. There are some deadlines related to financial aid and applying for scholarships and things like that. So sometimes students will come up 3 weeks into the semester thinking that they had financial aid when they still needed to do something else. And obviously we're able to walk them through what else they need to do. But they could have had that taken care of before classes started even. So.
True. Plus I had a dumb Windows phone at that time. That you didn't have much choices in things.
Right.
Yeah.
So we also help students with the billing process. If students need to sign up for their tuition loan plan, or they want to sign up for a direct deposit of their refund, if they're getting a refund of their financial aid once their tuition and fees are paid, we have kiosks out front that students can use. If they are running into issues, we can help them through that process as well. So we can answer some basic billing questions for them. We're able to see if they have a balance due on their account, and then we can give them options for how they can take care of that.
Not including even the work study.
Correct.
Too.
Yeah, students can participate in work study on campus. So they would come to the Student Service Center to inquire about that. So if they fill out a FAFSA, then we would be able to tell them if they would be eligible possibly eligible for work study, and have them fill out the proper forms to be able to be considered for that.
Something recent I did that's sort of popped into my head too.
The work study?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to earn money while you're on campus.
True.
Pay for your education.
Should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, a lot of students could take advantage of that. So we work financially. We'll let the students know if they're eligible, and then the student has to work with the Career Services Center to figure out what jobs are available, and it's up to them to secure the position then.
True.
So
Outside of that, I don't think, is there anything else on your end?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered everything. I really appreciate the opportunity
Definitely
to come up and
appreciate
talk about
it.
what we do. Hopefully students will take advantage of the services that we offer. Anytime they have questions, they can come up to the Student Service Center, and we will do our best to try and help them.
True. Definitely appreciate you coming up and
Well,
that.
thank you for having us.
It's been a knowledgeable time.
Good.